Okay, well, Springbank. Well, technically Campbeltown because it's not just a Springbank tasting, but someday we will do a Springbank only tasting. Which the next time we do Campbeltown, be Springbank only, so you won't have to worry about Kilkerran, Glen Scotia, or Cadenheads. But we also will have a Cadenheads tasting at some point in the future as well. So look forward to that. I'm sure everyone here, there's not a ton of us right now, but I'm sure we all love Campbelltown whiskeys, especially Springbank. Um, we all know how expensive these have gotten, how hard it is to get them. And so I work real hard to give up on a lot of the allocated bourbons so that I can put my allocations in for Springbank. So that's normally how I get these bottles. So this one here, this one's actually still on a lot of shelves. So I'm really interested to try this because I haven't had this before. And I think this is officially the oldest whiskey we've ever started a tasting with at 30 years. So go ahead, let's get into it. Cadenheads is the independent bottlers um, in Campbelltown. And so you'll see
Give it
them
that
bottle a
nice
lot.
buttery sea salt.
Mm. I will say the only thing I tried from this whole lineup was the Springbank 25, and that's because my buddy got me a really nice courtside seats to the Celtics Clippers game the other night. So I repaid him with bringing the Springbank 25. So I'm fresh to all of these. Just if you guys have had these before, maybe, but and I know a few years ago I had the Kilkerran 8 year that we're gonna try, but honestly I don't remember it. I had it when it came out. I think that was a 2019, 2020. You got it. Honestly, I can't even remember anymore. Um, Version, and I've had the Kilkerran Sherrywood, which I shared with. I literally killed the whole bottle the one day we opened my last bottle of that, so I know I enjoy that. What's up, Bino?
Yo, what I miss?
I'll DM you the order, but we're starting with that 30 year,
Oh, the 30. Okay,
the Cadenheads.
cool.
Very thin, but it's got a nice flavor.
Yeah, I'm not getting a lot on the nose on this one, which is weird for a 30 year, especially one that's not closer to like 40%.
Yeah, it's kind of just there. It's nothing like super layered.
Yeah.
Not bad, but it's not amazing.
Yeah, I probably wouldn't buy this bottle again.
No.
It's not, it's, yeah, I agree with you. It's not bad, but it's not anything that's gonna,
Yeah, it doesn't have a lot of layers going on to it's kind of simple,
yeah.
which is weird, but
And this, I actually don't think this is because I know they use malt from everywhere. Oh, it's a blend Scotch, so there is some grain in this.
mm,
'Cause I think they use, if I remember reading correctly, they use some Highland malt in this, so it's not all Campbelltown. Okay, Benno, sent you the two things you missed, which weren't a whole lot, so you should be good now, all caught up. He's not even on the thing.
I'm here. I'm off camera getting finding my
Okay.
samples because that's how organized I am.
So
So
coming
if you
into
look
this
at it,
tasting, what are we most excited to try of this lineup?
25, of course.
Not everyone has the 25, so.
Oh, they
Of the
should.
core, how about the core lineup? Yes, the 25 is beautiful, so see that one.
Amontillado.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm kind of curious about that one too.
So I can't get any of that stuff here, so
Yeah, I'd say Amontillado as well, but the Longrow Pinot Noir, I'm curious about.
yeah.
Yeah, that smells really good. I smelled them all when they came in. You know, you got to. You
That's
can't
dangerous
smell it.
because you might get into them. I would. I don't touch at all. I
have
made
to
that
smell
mistake
them.
with the when we were doing the Brew tasting a couple months ago. I smelled that the 30-year
The 36 or the 30?
no, the 30, the one that I provided
Yeah.
from the Impex group. Anyways, I smelled it and I was like, damn it, this smells like what I love about Lottie. And so I had to try it. That was the only one though. Everything else I left alone.
No, I have to. I can't wait. I also, pre-unwrapped my Christmas presents as a child, so I have no patience.
Fair enough.
I peaked as a child, so.
I peaked as a child too, at least my athletic career for sure.
I meant peak in the present.
I know. Play on words.
Okay.
Hey, Nando, did I pick up these samples from you or did you mail them to me?
I mailed them to you, my friend. I believe. I'll double check. Pinot, this is why we look for them 2 days early. Remember, we've had this problem before.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mailed it with all your bottles.
Oh, it's in the box. Right. Okay. Yeah, it's in the box. Got it. Okay, I need to find the box.
Okay, you're good?
Yeah.
All right. Well, the oldest Scotch we've ever started a tasting with. Maybe not hitting it out of the park. I think it's nice to start with, get the palate going. It's not overbearing at all. Honestly, this doesn't even drink like a 48%er to me, but
No, it is surprisingly thin, for sure.
yeah.
I think the Campbeltown Lock is a better blend of Campbeltown stuff.
You know what? So I was going to put the Campbeltown Lock in instead of that. And then I was like, it's 30 years. So I was like, you know what? I feel like that's a little more special for it. The Campbeltown Lock is awesome for, was it $70, 75?
Yeah.
Cheap, or not cheap, but affordable, somewhat affordable blend. Really good. I think it's a killer whiskey. So
Yeah, no, but I'm glad you put this one in because I haven't seen this one and it's interesting to try. The Campbeltown Lock as of late, at least around here, you can find it once in a while, so it's not as impossible, and it is really, really good.
Yeah, agreed.
Does High Times have that? Does High Times have that one?
High Times has a bunch of Campbeltown Lock. Yeah, they're like, I think they have one of the best prices in the country. I think they're at 60, maybe 65.
Wow.
So yeah, I actually have 2 Campbeltown Lock bottles because I like it so much. But
Best. I found them.
Yay.
There we go.
Nice.
But now you're gonna play catch up because we're gonna move to number 2.
Hey, so real quick, I do have a question. So, and this is what I've kind of found. So, why is it that some of the older ones don't taste really as good as maybe the younger ones? And I say maybe 15 years to 17 years.
Yeah. So one, I mean, we don't really judge whiskey by age, right? Outside of the fact that it has to be a minimum of 3 years to be called Scotch. I will say that Springbank is lightly peated. Longrow is going to be heavily peated. Anything like that for me, I actually prefer younger over older because you lose a lot of that like kick in there. And I would say with the older whiskeys, they become more delicate unless they get too over oaked, and then they just become bad for me. But with Scotch, you tend to get a lot more delicate whiskeys that you really have to sit with over a longer time, I feel like, versus them being punchy and like even at cast strength, a lot of them they lose their punch, up front, but they're fun to sit with, play with, drink over time, and kind of really pick out notes from those. Why this one is, I'm sure this was a blend that was just kind of thrown together. Well, not just thrown together, but it's maybe not the absolute best of the best stuff that they could have blended, but they wanted to make a nice enough whiskey. And I would drink this if someone gave it to me for sure. I wouldn't go out
I
and
would
chase
as well
a bottle.
too. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Is that the 30 you're talking about?
Yeah. Yeah, that was the Cadenheads we started with.
Hey,
Now, here's
Nando,
what I can tell you: that anything else that's aged in this tasting, which is the 21 and the 25, or if you got 25, but 21 is. I haven't tried the 21, but I'm going to say it's phenomenal because I've never had a bad aged Springbank ever. So, and I've once tried the 30 year. The 30 years reminds me a lot of which we don't have in this tasting, but it reminded me a lot of the Redbreast 27, like the batch one that had just huge exotic fruits on it. So I'm really looking forward to this one, which is going to be our second pour. It's a Springbank 21. For those of you that got the Springbank 25, if you're going to drink the Springbank 25 tonight, I'd probably suggest doing these side by side and see what you like better. Because once we go up in one, we're going to go up in proof, and two, we're also going to have some peat later in the tasting. So if you save that for the end, um, I would probably just save that for tomorrow.
You
Or
just said that 21 is phenomenal. It is, dude. It's rocking.
Okay, good. I'm glad to hear that because I don't have a lot of this left. So.
No, it's lovely.
Where is that noise coming from? There we go.
Okay, so Springbank 21 let's talk about Springbank first. How about that? So Springbank was founded in 1828 by Archibald Mitchell. Ultimately, the Mitchells owned J&A Mitchell Company. So his grandkids, grand nephew, great nephew owns J&A Mitchell. So he created that 1828. There were illicit distillers before that on site. And so they were distilling prior to 1828. Springbank is lightly peated, just an FYI. It's 2.5 times distilled. So you can look into that process. It's meant to be full-bodied, slightly maritime, which, with the peat, you're going to have a little salinity in this. With the older Springbanks, I tend to get a lot of exotic fruits on these too. So I'm hoping this one lives up to its name. And this one's pretty dark too. Is this sherry? I didn't even look and see if this was sherry or not.
Doesn't look like it, but it could be.
It tastes more bourbon cast to me, but
Got it. Yeah, that would make sense.
So real quick, the first one, which I'm just catching up on, is just a blend from Cadenheads, right?
Correct. Yeah, it's a 30-year blended Scotch, so it does have some grain in it. That one, I think I overpaid for that one. I think I paid like $180 for that one. I've seen it like 140, 150 after the fact.
Yeah.
This is not a cheap bottle. So
Springbank 21. Let me see the bottle.
So I think all in with shipping, I think
450.
right around 750 somewhere.
750. Are you kidding?
Yeah.
damn.
Yeah, they're not, if you can find them, they're not cheap. So, I mean, I've seen them for over 1,000 at stores, and like obviously I wouldn't pay that, but
You paid 750.
yeah. And I'm going to take my own advice since I have it here, and I'm also going to pour the 25 side by side. So. you did not get the 25, I apologize. But I just want to pour these side by side.
And they're both 46, right?
They're both 46%, yeah. So these are lower proof. We're not lower proof, but lower than what we normally drink.
Yeah, the 25. I find the 25 a little bit, because I'm doing side by side, a little more tropical.
Yeah,
and definitely a little more
100%.
oily. It's definitely oily, but the 21 is really like light fruits and really nice too, though.
I almost get a little bit of, and maybe this might be my palate because I don't. Maybe I ate something today, but I almost get like a little hint of like mint on the back palate of the 21.
Dude, I was
21?
I literally just had a sip of that and I was like, is that methanol? Like menthol that I taste a little bit? That's
Okay,
hilarious.
it's not just me. I'm like,
No, I did the same, like just a small little smidge.
yeah, I'm like, that's so weird. I've never had that in a Springbank ever. Whoa. Okay. Well, I'm glad my palate isn't completely screwed. So I made some Chipotle chicken earlier today, so I don't not from Chipotle the restaurant. Like I made chicken in a Chipotle sauce. So I wasn't thinking about it, and then I was like, oh crap, that might screw up my palate for later.
So I've got my Campbeltown malts glass
Oh, nice.
from the Campbelltown Malts Festival, so I can drink my Springbank in those.
There you go.
That's what the 25 is going to go in.
I feel like it's 21. You've got to let it sit in your glass for a little bit. Let it open up.
Yeah, I poured mine like at 4:30, so it's had plenty of time to open. So it's I still like the 25 better. I like the mouthfeel and the tropical fruits, but the 21 is lovely.
I got a little musty Rancio note on that Springbank 25 right now, which I didn't get the other day.
Huh. So you guys didn't like the 7 stars?
Well, anyone else want to answer that? I can answer.
It's just there. It's not bad. It's not great. It's just there. It's a good start to get your palate going.
Brandon, I'm unfortunately rooting for you guys tomorrow because I hate the Bills. I can't as a Dolphins.
Don't you say those things.
Hell yeah. Let's go, Nando.
Well, that's not true. I'm rooting for the Washington Redskins to win it all, but
Commanders.
Commanders.
They're still
Bill.
I'm gonna plug my ears right now.
Redskins.
You're watching the games, Nando, I'm assuming?
tomorrow. Tomorrow I will be, yes.
Go Bills.
See my glass right here?
Oh God.
Mm. Did you get that inscribed yourself, or do they actually sell those?
It was a gift.
There's something different on the 25. I don't know if I'd call it tropical fruit. Huh. Interesting.
It's funky fruit, like fruit that's gone a little bad.
Yeah, it's funky. I'm not sure how to characterize it. Someone playing a game in the background? I hear weird music.
That's Dracula. My wife's watching Dracula, so if you hear all this weird stuff going on, it's really loud.
What's that one? The old one that's got famous again? Nosferatu.
Oh, yeah, we saw that in the theater. That's pretty hardcore.
Is it?
Yeah, it was pretty hardcore. It was pretty good though. But no, this is another Dracula.
I wouldn't have thought that, considering when that movie was made.
No, there's a new one, right? So
the new one. I'm sorry, I'm talking about the new one.
Oh, okay.
But there's the one from the 20s that is a silent movie, which is really cool.
Yeah, no, this is the new one. The new one's a little bit more hardcore.
Gotcha.
Modern sensibilities couldn't, handle stuff from back then, 100 years ago. Be too boring.
A different speed for sure. These are both fantastic, but I'm with you guys on the 25. There's something I'm trying to pinpoint what it is because I love it, but it's weird, right? It's
Yep.
that I don't know what it is yet.
It's like it's turned, but
Still not.
it's not off-putting. It's not off-putting, but it's like it's turned. Yeah, it's weird.
So pretty. Your face is red.
What?
Your face is red.
Yeah. Okay.
See, I'm just still weirded out about the 21 having this really light minty menthol note to me. Like it's just blowing my mind because I've never had that on a Springbank. But
21.
yeah, on the 21. Like it's just a baby hint kiss at the end, but on the
Yeah,
back palate for me.
I think I see it. Yeah, it's there.
Okay, now I know I'm not crazy, so there we go. Two of you. So.
But what is that flavor on the 25? It's so distinct but weird. It's gonna bug me.
I'm getting like, so I call it maybe like a Rancio note, like it's just that older, kind of dusty, almost yeah, I guess kind of expired, like a rancid note, it's Rancio, but like not in a bad way for me. Like I really like the 25. The FYI is normally I don't see these going out the door for less than $1,500. Why this was so expensive because this cost me $13.50 to my door. So
Wow.
Not a cheap bottle.
Damn.
So thank you for those of you that bought it, because if only two of you bought it, I would have been really sad.
I'm sure you can get rid of the samples elsewhere.
Yeah, that's all right. 40th is coming up. I would just sweep it under that rug, I guess.
That having been said, I'm surprised. I'm not minding the 30 year. It's interesting.
I think we were all in that bucket. No one disliked it. It just wasn't. It's not blowing your mind,
We're not gonna go buy it. Yeah,
It's not as interesting as the 21 and 25.
for sure.
It's just less complex.
Those price points are a little different, though.
Right. Yeah. So of the three, I would buy the 30 year in a heartbeat.
I was looking at whiskey base, and it says it's a sherry cask, but on the bottle it doesn't say that. I don't think.
On which one?
On the 30 year, the Cadenheads.
Do you have this one, Brian?
I don't know. It's the first time I've had it. But I can definitely sense the grain, the single grain in there.
Yeah, it's also bottled at cask strength. This is a cask strength whiskey at 48.2. Huh. Oh, freaking
little bit of hinty sulfur, but not enough to be annoying.
I got the same too, especially in the nose. And I guess, yeah, to your point, when I tasted it, I was like, okay, this is fine. Because sometimes when it's too much and you carry over, you're like, I get it in the nose and I'm now tasting it.
I guess I must have gotten used to sulfur by now because I think in the past that would have put me off it. But I'm like, man, it could be worse.
So not to be disgusting, but I just burped a little bit, and I really love Springbank burps. It's just like,
wow, that is disgusting.
I think it would be disgusting if
right.
somebody had a Springbank fart. I think that would be disgusting.
Oh.
All right. So next execs, Glenn is going to say execs Springbank burps.
It's that.
Come on, Nando, get it done.
Yeah.
I will definitely be in for a couple.
What? For a while we had a thing. So one of the first tastings we did online was like a bourbon tasting. We put in that was right when that George Dickel Bottled and Bond won best whiskey of the year. And I think for those of you that know Raj, he was feeling pretty good on that tasting, and he threw out "Don't Sleep on the Dickel," and for whatever reason that caught on for like 6 months. Everyone was just saying it on our tasting. So I was like, all right. So I'm hoping that does not catch on, Brian, at all.
Hey, I remember that one too. I remember that too. I was feeling good too because I had all 6 ounces.
Yeah,
Finished them all that night.
Well, you've learned to keep a little in the sample.
Yeah, I did.
I really like this 25. The longer I sit with it and the more that I have in the glass is really good. I just finished it, but I really enjoy that. I don't know. On my own, I'm probably not paying $1,500 for that bottle.
Probably.
Yeah, I'm definitely not. I don't really. The only expensive bottles I've ever bought are all meant for the tasting. So the Springbank 25 and then the Springbank 30, what was that, a 33 year? 32 year that we had at the beginning of last year at the Blackadder tasting. 30 something year. That was also like 1600, something like that. So
By the way,
I have a
for that
Port
spring-
Ellen somewhere that and those are the only 3 bottles that are over 1,000 that I've ever bought.
anyone else having haggis today?
Ew.
It is Burns. It is Robbie Burns' birthday.
I actually don't mind haggis. The one that
I don't either.
Yeah, the one that the Scotch Club gets is
Yeah,
actually pretty good though. It's like was it all organic, sourced from Oregon?
Yeah, it's a guy I found it for Andy. His name is Charles Lamb, the Oatmeal Savage, and he makes it off his farm in Oregon.
Yeah, that one's pretty good. It just tastes like meatloaf to me. So yeah, this 21 I think just needed time in the glass. I actually like it a lot more right now. And I have like a third of an ounce left for someday.
Just suck down the bottle, dude. Just kill the soldier.
I don't have room in my house anymore, so I'm going to. This weekend it'll be gone. So.
You got plenty of room. You can still walk around without navigating through narrow pathways of boxes.
Yeah, it's not like your house, Benno. There's I couldn't do that. I have a child.
It's just one room. I'm talking about Harvey Fry's apartment.
What do we think of Springbank 21? I'd like to hear.
Awesome.
It's good.
Fantastic. It's getting sweeter with as time passes and it aerates.
Agree with you. I like it. I'm going to let it sit in my glass more, to be honest, and I'm going to come back to it in a little bit.
Pretty good, but I wouldn't buy it. Not for that price.
Fair. And I don't think you'll find it for cheaper. I think it's already I think it's over 6 something on the Malt Hammer group. So I put one up yesterday. Well, we're going to move to number 3. And this is the one that I was most excited for on this tasting to try was this Hazelburn. Springbank being lightly peated. Hazelburn is their non-peated whiskey. And so normally we would drink this first, but because Springbank 21's 46% and this is cask strength, I didn't want to, blow the palates for the 21, so I just thought it made a little more sense. Plus, Springbank isn't overly peaty; it's very lightly peated. So I think if I remember correctly, it's like between 5 to 10 ppm.
What was I was gonna say, so that's the ppm.
Yeah, I actually think it's between 5 and 8 ppm is Springbank. So it's like really lightly, just enough to give it that kiss of peat. So
Strangely enough, I'm getting milk chocolate on this one. Strange.
On the Hazelburn?
On the nose, yeah.
Oh, I haven't even poured it yet, so let me get to that. The last time we did this tasting, the Hazelburn single cask was it's an all-time favorite for me. It was by far my favorite of that night, and we had some pretty killer whiskeys in that tasting. So this one has a lot to live up to. We'll see what happens.
Which one was that? And it was a 13 year?
I'd have to go back specifically to I think it was 13 to 15, one of those two.
I have a couple that I actually haven't opened yet, and so I'm just curious. And I realize now this one's a Sauternes, so I think I might be most excited for this one as well.
Yeah, if you and this was voted by our priority members as I have this one and another Hazelburn, and so almost I think it was unanimous actually was to drink the Sauternes cask. I have a bourbon cask one too.
Sauternes. We're like fuck the rest, Sauternes.
So the bourbon cask is my last single cask I guess the single cask that I have of any Hazelburns. So
it is sweet and delicious.
Music to my ears.
Oh. That doesn't need to sit in the glass.
Oh yeah.
That's oily and viscous, and that is nice.
Oh, that's delicious. That's really good.
And so a lot of you are big Klein Leash fans too. I know.
That waxy, oily, yeah.
So Hazelburn is also triple distilled. So that helps with that, the oil.
Jesus Christ, it's not waxy and oily. It's like coated. Like this, like they added something. I've never had a whiskey that tasted like this with this mouthfeel.
Mm.
Like it's so viscous. Like I thought I've had stuff before, but this is another level.
How much is this bottle, Nando? Is this crazy too?
So I paid a lot of money for this. I probably overpaid for this one. I think this one was like almost, I think it was 400. I want to say it was 400.
Wow.
This
And
might
for
be
9 years, stupid, but
it might be worth it. This is good.
okay. Well, I'm glad you guys enjoy
I
it.
wouldn't not pay 300 or 400 for this. I have other 400-year-olds that aren't quite. I mean, $400-year-old whiskey. That'd be awesome. That'd be something to have. $400 whiskeys, and this is awesome.
Good. Well,
The
I'm happy
fruit,
you enjoy it.
the sweet fruit, like the fruit's like a fruit bomb. But you know what I mean? Like when you drink it and it hits the front of your tongue, you can like feel almost like a bubble of something or something going on there. It's so
Effervescent.
thick, but not thick. Weird.
Uh-oh, don't get dirty.
Well,
get dirty.
being at 57%, this doesn't drink anything like 57% because I don't want to say I could
You could
down
down
it,
it.
but I could drink a lot of this in a single sitting. So,
I feel like I could almost chew this whiskey. This is so
I
interesting.
like Sauternes Castle on most things.
You got any more of this left, Nando?
no. This was my last two single casts I have of Hazelburn. You guys voted on, so it was bourbon or this.
So who made the single cask?
Well, this is actually from Springbank. This is Hazelburn, an actual. So they do these with Longrow or with Springbank and Hazelburn. These single casts.
Can you only get it from the distillery?
No, this was a Pacific Edge pick from quite a few years ago, from 2017. So, and I honestly don't even know if Springbank still does these in the same fashion that they used to. But yeah, that's a Pack Edge pick, which is for you guys that don't know, Pacific Edge is the distributor out here in California of Springbank.
Let's see what Whiskey Base says. 85.3. That's pretty good.
As a rating,
Mm-hmm.
that's way too low.
Yeah, it's way better than 85.
That's
I
crazy.
don't know. For Whiskey Base, that seems to be.
I feel like that's really low. I feel like it's closer to 90.
This one has a lot of taste, and of the three so far, this is my favorite.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah.
This is my favorite.
Mm-hmm. It's packed with so much flavor and it has such a unique mouthfeel.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I like just rolling that around on the palate, to be honest. That's awesome.
Mm-hmm.
And to that point, Steve, I mean, that's why we put a bunch of different price points in on these bottles. So, just be like, I'm not a believer in more expensive bottles being better than, other bottles. Like there's a lot of core bottlings that I really enjoy that are way less than $100 that I think outperform things that are $200, $300, $400. But, yeah, that Springbank 21 is real expensive. And, this Hazelburn single cask is equally as good, if not better. So,
man, this is fantastic.
It seems the consensus is probably better. So, and I think when this came out, if you had found this in 2017, it was probably like $150, $200 maybe.
Yeah. It's 120 on Wine Searcher from March 2020 is the last price it has listed anywhere.
Yeah, if you can find that, let me know. But
there is
there's nothing available on Whiskey Searcher either. They don't have anything available on it. So I can't find it.
Yeah, yeah, this might go down as the best of the night, which is we'll see. We'll see what happens. Hopefully it's not all downhill from here. Hopefully there's some fight left in these other bottles. You like this one? Andy says she likes this one. So. Was anyone doing anything interesting this weekend?
Watching the Bills kick the Kansas City Chiefs' ass tomorrow.
Oh, there you go.
Chill,
Where's my buddy?
chill.
Where's he at? Where's his face? I want to see his face. Where is he? I don't see him.
Oh. Yeah, tomorrow I was supposed to host some firemen at my house,
Nice.
but with some friends that are down here fighting the fires, and then they got moved down to San Diego, I was told today. So
Oh yeah, because the fire there.
yeah.
Yeah, I heard that's pretty big down there, almost like 6,500 acres.
Yeah.
I mean, it's huge.
Yeah, this wind sucks. That's
Oh, yeah.
Well, it's supposed to rain starting like now, isn't it?
Yeah,
Yeah,
tonight. In theory, I'm supposed to go to a poker night tonight, but if it rains, it's supposed to be outside. I'm not going. So
Oh, it's supposed to be outside.
yeah, the guy has a smaller place inside, so I don't know if he can fit everyone inside. And so
Oh yeah, K&L has this listed. It's out of stock, but their price when it was listed was $120. Can you imagine?
I would buy every bottle on the shelf. Oh, quite honestly, going back to the Springbank 21 right after this, like this is kicking its ass.
Get down. This is loud.
Agree.
Well, that was a good one. Thank you guys for leaving me a half an ounce for tomorrow. So we actually sold 23 sets of this tasting. So where everyone is at, everyone's either sick or didn't show up. Oh, okay. Should we move on to the Amontillado?
Yes.
Which is part of their sherry series. So they had Paulo Cortado last year, and they had PX the first year that they did this. So in theory, I could have put any one of those in. I decided to do Amontillado since this got released. So if you guys didn't get this, at least you get to try it tonight. So hopefully you enjoy this. Or hopefully we all enjoy it. Let's see.
It's got a sweet nose also.
Kind of don't want to move on from that Hazelburn, but okay.
Did you save some, Eladio, or did you pour it
Oh,
all?
yes, I did.
Yeah, me too.
You know what? They're going right into that. It's got the nice mouthfeel too.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's actually got a nice coating too. It's lovely.
Interesting. That's pretty rare to find that level of viscosity on a whiskey. And I mean, I notice it especially lately, but like that Hazelburn was orders of magnitude more than anything else I've ever had. That was crazy. Let's see how this.
So I had a little drop left of the 25 in the glass I poured that in. I got a really plasticky note on that too that I didn't really get the first time. That was interesting. Okay. Let me clear my palate here. I actually don't feel like the nose is real big on this. Like, I'm not getting a ton of fruit on this.
I'm getting licorice for some reason.
Like red licorice.
Yeah, red
Like
licorice.
yeah.
Like a cherry. Like a
I mean, I
cherry.
get a little bit of yeah. I think maybe that's where the sweet's coming from. I get a little bit of sweetness.
There's like a cinnamon spice almost or something.
Yeah, I can pick up that cinnamon too, for sure.
Yeah.
But sweet cinnamon spice.
Like those red hot candies.
I was just gonna say like red hots, but
They're
not too
kinda-
much like red
Yeah,
hots.
yeah, they're sugary and cinnamon at the same time.
And you're right. This has that same exact, almost as much, not quite viscosity.
Yeah, it's not quite there, but it's still
Yeah.
nice, still oily. Yeah, it's
Crazy.
lovely. That's my favorite too. I love when they're thick and oily and you can chew
This
on
one's
them.
actually really good too, Nando.
Yeah, this is nice.
Mhm.
Well, Kim, you'd love me because I'm thick and oily too. So that's why I keep with Kim.
Oh,
Well, Nando, I already love you, so that's what we get.
Fair
are you
enough. Thank you.
close enough to smack him? Because if you can,
Hey, we're not even on the 5th dram yet, so usually after 1 hour, then it gets silly. But
what are you talking about? This is number 5.
We usually get to when we turn the recording off, and then it goes. But
four. It was number
maybe
4
not tonight.
Oh well, I poured the 25.
Well, yeah. Ooh, actually, you know what? Mid palate, back palate. I think this is really fruity.
Yeah, it is. I'm shocked. Where's the bottle?
It's the Amontillado.
Huh? I assume this one's available, right?
If you can find it.
It's still expensive, man. It's like even on secondary, it's like $350, $375 now.
So
Really?
one of my friends found this, or for Will Steven, you guys know him in the group, or might know him. He found one in Wisconsin that was priced wrong for $140.
Oh man.
And I was like, I fucking hate you, dude.
At Total Wine, do you know?
No,
It's always
that,
at Total Wine. I feel like they always fuck up the prices.
Holy crap! Del Mesa Liquors wants $450 for it.
Yeah. These I got for with tax about 220. So
Yeah, I mean
not
Springbank
horrible.
prices. I've seen Springbank prices just go through the roof lately.
I think technically the SRP is supposed to be 160 or 170 on this, but no one's selling it for SRP.
Yeah, just Springbank prices have blown up. Yeah, $327 at Artisan Wine and Spirits. Save $122. Limit 1 per customer.
Yeah, you can get them $299 in from Washington D.C.
We can only hope it starts going down a little bit because
Yeah, $369, $399. So yeah, it's available.
Except don't forget tariffs.
oh yeah,
I was gonna say, or up.
Yep, that was nice though.
Yeah,
Oh.
Brandon, you still got contacts over in Washington D.C. or what?
Yeah,
Well,
maybe.
Bottle
Ships-
Barn has it listed for 160, but it's sold out.
Yeah, they probably had one and then it was gone.
Yeah.
Anybody next? Yeah, the cheapest one is from Washington on the whiskey searcher. So
Oh wait, Washington State or D.C.?
Washington D.C.
Yeah.
$299, and it ships, and then goes all the way. Glendale, California, $369, and then.
Yeah, well. Guess we'll just have to drink this.
This actually is probably number 2 for me right now.
Yeah,
Correct.
It's really good.
Yeah, it is really good. I'm getting a. I don't know if I'm imagining things a weird coconut finish. I don't know if that's just me or.
Yeah, I mean, it really goes into fruits in that mid palate. You're right. It like ramps up as soon as you
Yeah,
hit that after that first sip.
yeah, it's crazy.
I didn't save any of the Hazelburn to compare, which is what I'm annoyed by now because I'm like, they seem very similar.
Mhm.
I mean, I get a little bit of a peat, I guess.
But yeah, I don't get any peat on this if I'm being honest.
Me
Also,
neither.
It's just fruit.
The Hazelburn is just way sweeter.
I mean,
yeah.
This.
I keep sniffing my Glen after I drink my sample. You can I think you can smell the peat a little bit. At least I can.
On the Springbank?
On the Springbank, yeah. After it's
If
gone.
you're smelling that on Hazelburn, something's wrong.
No. That's what I'm saying. Like compared to the Hazelburn being not peated.
Now these are both in
just a
sherry
tad.
casks.
So
Sauternes, dessert wine, and Amontillado.
This is Sauternes, so this is a dessert wine. And Amontillado is a sherry type of sherry cask. Yes, correct. It's one of the more milder sherries, if I remember correctly. Anyone fact check me.
It's darker than Pinot, lighter than Oloroso.
Yeah.
Yeah, the Sauternes cask, after you've taken it out and smelled the glass, it's so sweet. It's like crazy.
You can smell it.
Wow, it's crazy.
Oh yeah. Oh my gosh. Oh man.
It's ridiculous.
Crazy sweet.
And this is the second Amontillado cask we've ever had in a tasting. For those of you that did the Cavalon tasting a while back, we did have a Amontillado in that tasting that was also phenomenal. So, and I have a Cavalon Amontillado in the back somewhere for a someday opening. So,
do you know what years those were, Nando? Or the one you have at least
older at 20? They're Solist, so 2019.
Okay. Oh, they're Solist. Okay.
2018, somewhere around there.
I was in the Philippines like 2 years ago, and I was like, that was the first thing I was going to look for was like older Cavalon stuff, and I picked up an Amontillado. I haven't opened it yet though.
Well, okay, I will come back to that in just a second.
This is lovely though, the Amontillado. But I get a lot of, apart from the fruits, like tobacco leaves and leather a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Leather, I could see for sure. That makes sense. Yeah. I don't get the tobacco really, but like tobacco as in like kind of a spice, like
tobacco leaves, like just the
smell.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I don't get that really.
Yeah, I get the leather too. The leather's definitely there. I can't get past how amazing the glass smells on the Hazelburn. I just want to keep smelling that.
Yep.
God, it's fun.
Turn into complete honey, right? Like super sweet.
Yeah, for sure.
You know what? One of my favorite things to do is with in these tastings is I usually leave my glassware for the next day and then smell them. Unless I'm like OCD about cleaning for some reason, which is pretty rare. Smelling them the next morning is awesome.
Just as long as you don't leave anything in the glass, then that goes bad.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie to you. I've had a little pull of whiskey that was left in the glass in the morning, so you know, I don't drink coffee, but a little cast strength nibble won't hurt. Wake me up, you know.
So I just had the 21 again, and it's like it's nice. It just doesn't compare to these last two. Like these are just so much more punchier and full of flavor. It's just they blow them away.
So obviously Hazelburn being at cast strength, and then the Springbank, I actually don't know that it's I don't think it's cast strength. I think they proof this down a little bit with some water, but it's still 55%. So it's a much bigger whiskey. So it's kind of hard to. That's why I try and buy as much cast strength. Like if I'm buying cast strength stuff, and if I want to add water to it, which is even more rare than me being OCD about cleaning, I can. So
I have a little sample of the Palo Cortado actually, and I'm side by siding it. Amontillado is way better. So good news.
you know what? Thank you for saying that.
That's good to know because I've been wanting both of those.
I mean, it's still good. It's still good.
Yeah.
But Amontillado is way better.
Ooh, I'll tell you this: after having these last two, and you go back to the 25, if you still have any left, that off note is even more off and noticeable, and it doesn't taste as good. And it definitely tastes like something went bad. Ugh.
It got, I think Nando, you said it. It got plasticky.
Yeah.
Yeah. I did say
Almost
that.
like wet melted plastic or something. I don't know.
Yeah. So I have samples of the PX cask and the Palo Cortado here that I saved for this tasting.
Yeah, look at that. Yeah, I guess you guys are right. Plastic. It is like a leftover plastic taste. Ugh.
It's a note that I get in rums, the agricole rums.
I don't know if I've noticed that in agricoles, but whatever it is, whatever's left over my palate now, ugh, disgusting. Not good.
Which that's not great when it's how expensive that whiskey is. It's
$1,500, right?
yeah.
Yikes.
Okay, Paulo Cortado. I'm gonna do this real quick and then we're gonna move on. We can actually move on. You guys don't have to wait for me. Hold on. Let me just pour this real quick.
So Kilkerran.
Hey, we're in no rush, Fernando. So go ahead.
I kind of am. I'm going to go have Indian food at 6:30, so I'm kind of in a rush.
Oh,
Speak for yourself.
Get some paneer for me. I love.
Oh, I love paneer. I'm going to get paneer, dude. Trust me. And I haven't had. I've had protein bars all day and been moving a friend out of his business, so I'm getting buzzed, which is awesome. And then I'm going to go eat some Indian food, which is awesome.
Very nice. Okay, well, for Kim, we will move forward. Kilkerran.
Cheers, guys. Thank you.
I've got another tasting after this starting at 6:30 with LA Whiskey Club, so I got to go too.
It's past my bedtime. It's 9:00 here.
That's right. It's the ball
Get out of
player.
here. That's not acceptable.
It's the
With two
ball
kids,
player.
it is. I don't know.
Oh, all right. Fair enough. Okay.
Yeah, ball players for LA whiskey tonight.
Yep.
Yeah.
So this Kilkerran is 8-year cask strength coming in at 57.1. This one released a few years back was very sought after because it was sherried aged. Kilkerran, FY, if you don't know, they're only distilling 3 months out of the year. I think February, March, and April, if I remember correctly. So I've seen this. I think I just saw this sell for like 220-ish. These bottles are around 130 to 150, I think. I love Kilkerran. For those of you, if you've never had Kilkerran or if you don't really buy them because they're not Springbank, I really like Kilkerran. They're peated. They're not heavily peated, but they are more peated than Springbank is, but not as peated as Longrow. They're coming out of Glengyle Distillery, which it's not called Glengyle because J&A Mitchell actually started doing a Highland blend called Glengyle. So they don't call this Glengyle, but they call it Kilkerran, which was a previous distillery. Or I'm sorry, actually it is the old Scottish name for the area in Campbeltown that they are in. Kilkerran was initially a distillery from 1872 to 1925. So it was also the name of the old distillery. Sorry about that. On top of what I just said, but it's Glengyle Distillery now, opened in 2004 by J&A Mitchell. Kilkerran separates itself from Springbank in one, I guess they're made at two different distilleries, but also their fermentation time is up to 110 hours. So anything over about 70 hours is a long fermentation time. It's malting on site, bottled on site. They actually use the same bottling hall that Springbank does since they're owned by the same people. Everything's done on site, which I think makes Springbank and Kilkerran like really unique in from a lot of other whiskey places because most people aren't doing their own malting anymore. They don't have their own malt floors. So try this. I'm excited to try this because I have had this since that whole little craze went down. And I'm hoping this is good. I'm hoping
this is excellent. This is really good.
This is a really good bottle.
Oh, Steve, I'm always so proud of you every time you say that about something peated.
Well, the other ones, Fernando, were actually, they were subtle enough to where you really couldn't really tell. Oh, well, they're subtle enough to where I could tell, but it had such a great taste.
Yeah.
So
this is good.
Terrific.
It's like the other two, but you can definitely taste more peat on it. So just added peat to like the last two.
Yeah, but unfortunately, you don't get the viscosity that we've been spoiled with the last two.
It doesn't have that viscosity, which
yeah.
Maybe I should blend one.
So Kim, this has a little bit more bite for me.
Yeah, definitely me too.
A little bit spice, but it's good.
Yeah,
This is really
exactly.
good.
I get that spice, same as you, Steve. It's definitely spicy. It's nice.
I think the spice is because it doesn't have that viscosity, so
Yeah.
it's getting
Yeah.
more alcohol burn.
Yeah, a little drier on the mouth too. Yeah.
Yeah, I like this.
This feels like a holiday whiskey for me, like something I would like to
Because the
drink.
sherry
Like,
cask, yeah. It's nice and dark too. It's a pretty color.
I mean, if you can't get the other two, this is not a bad substitute.
good luck also finding
This one's hard to. I mean, even the new release is hard to find. I guess.
The newer releases of Kilkerran actually aren't that bad. Most people
Okay.
most sit. These cast strengths will move depending if like they get some notoriety behind them, but they're not as hard as the other ones to find for sure.
Did they just
I
release
actually
another?
sorry, go ahead.
Oh, sorry. I was gonna say, didn't they release another 8-year cast strength sherry like recently? I think this is the
Yeah, so
5701.
there was two.
Okay.
One released, they're 2 years apart. So I think one was 2020, the other was 22. But it wasn't as heralded as this one was. This
Okay.
one got a
Okay.
lot of love.
Actually, I take that back. Take another sip again, Kim. When I took a sip of this the second time, all of a sudden I felt a little bit more of the viscosity on the front palate.
Did you get it again?
Mm-hmm.
Did you poop?
That's weird. I didn't notice it at first. Maybe actually you have to get used to it after the second, third sip, after the burn kind of goes away. I don't know.
Oh, and I'm gonna say bye to anyone who's watching this on YouTube or well, I guess we don't really post it on YouTube. Here's everyone.
Hi or bye?
We're saying bye to the